We got through it, but then a load screen hit, and these guys have potatoes for computers.
Potatoes. Well, I think VirTues just says.
Maybe. Well, folks, it is going to be Season 2 kicking off here officially for the TING Open. Of course, we've got new and updated TING facts down here. I actually haven't seen them yet. I probably should have at this point, because as far as I know, something really lewd's about to pop up. But Jesse said there's new facts down there, so I guess keep an eye on the bottom of the screen. But speaking of the bottom of the screen, the bottom left side, spawning red, playing Terran, it is going to be MVP's Forte, better known as his old alias, Salvation.
In the top right, as the pink Terran, it is VirTues.
So, look at these updated facts, by the way. I love that he kept the Jesse will kick your ass at StarCraft one, but then crossed it out and it says Neeb will kick your ass at StarCraft.
Well, I guess it's like, you know, they hired like a bully to bully everyone else after being bullied.
Yeah, you pay the kid in the grade higher than you to give you protection money, I guess. And that's technically what he's done with Neeb here.
He's giving him protection money.
Every sponsorship money, protection money, same difference.
Same thing, right?
All right, so TvT kicking off is going to be really interesting because I do feel like you've got really two extremes of TvT, and that's like early game or like late game. There's not real whole hell of a lot of in between. And while we've seen games end to like one Reaper, one Hellion, and one Marine, we've also seen a lot of games go to like massive amounts of tanks and drops and all these other various things. What I do find the most interesting though is that Forte. I'm gonna have a problem with that today. Forte has shown this really great late game, but I feel like every time we've cast him in the Elima League, someone hits him with like early Reapers, early Hellions, and he's just kind of like, oh yeah, I forgot that can happen to TvT.
Yeah, honestly, I can't remember much from this guy. I don't know what it is, and I mean, it's gonna be a blessing because then I don't have a problem calling him Forte, but I'll take your word for it. A problem right now that I can see is just that this should be just a case of being like, you know, of outplaying. VirTues is Masters on Korea, which is, you know, cool and all, but Forte is like a pro, so it's like cooler.
Let's also not forget, because this could actually go further for VirTues, as well as we know for Forte. We don't allow barcodes in this. We made some exceptions last season, but we went hard with it this one. So these guys very well may be Super Grandmaster on their like 14 barcodes for all we know. It's just the fact that they have to log into account with a name. Yeah, it's only like Masters League.
But then, okay, yeah, well, I mean, I feel like the whole point of the barcode is so they can't smurf, but this would still be smurfing, wouldn't it?
What? No, I mean like they ladder on like whatever for barcode, but it's still Forte. Like.
Oh, I meant for like VirTues. So I guess. I'm
not saying
VirTues. Oh, okay.
I'm not saying he's secretly Maru playing on VirTues. I'm saying like.
I get it. That he might have other accounts. Yeah, I see.
It's too early for you to up. You lied about waking up.
Dude, I woke up like 40 minutes ago. I was impressed with myself.
You're like, body, please. You're under my control. You wake up when I tell you to.
Yeah,
Meanwhile, I'm setting like 7 alarm clocks, sleeping through like 4 of them.
Actually, I forgot that I had to wake up, so I had like some like pretty pleasant dreams, and then right to wake up.
I've been dreaming a lot about pizza lately. I need to do one of those cheat days, like
dude,
real
just
bad.
have a slice of pizza, Philip. God.
I can't, because if I have one, I'm gonna want like all of them.
Then only buy one slice of pizza.
Who only buys a slice of pizza? You gotta order a whole pizza.
No, you don't. Like you go to like the mall and like the pizza place, you order a slice of pizza.
Oh, that's not the same, man. I'm thinking of like Domino's medium deep dish pepperoni.
Well, then that's your bad, isn't it? The Reaper gets in here, by the way. I mean, this is not too much really going on, except that VirTues is going for a 1-base build, but a 1-base build hasn't really done anything yet.
No, but
it's finally moving out now. 2 tanks, handful of Marines.
He scans the main, by the way, to see that this is in fact moving out. He's also got this Liberator in the backside he's gonna have to deal with. I almost hope VirTues holds off on this and uses it as like a distraction tactic, but either way, where's that Cyclone? Did it actually? Yeah, there it is. Cyclone should be able to deal with this relatively easy. Pull some of the SCVs away, gets a little annoying, but that push at the front, man, like Salvation really doesn't have the means, Forte, excuse me, doesn't have the means to really deal with this. Same time, though, the drop on the other side of the map, while not huge, also has nothing to defend against it, so...
Awkward. Oh, tank's about to pop out. Right into the Marines.
It's not quite BaseTradeTV yet.
It might die. Oh, it might be repaired too, though.
There shouldn't be high ground vision here. Like, you really shouldn't have it, but he's just gonna stutter up into this tank. Now, of course, that one tank sieged up is nice, but 2 unsieged tanks are better. Medevac comes over to scoop these up away from these SCVs if necessary. Both players end up to pull a lot of workers, but VirTues has a lot less to lose.
Yeah, and I guess the tank did actually go down. I thought it was going to be mass repaired, so still a Marine and a Hellion can't do very much, but they are denying a command center, where, of course, Forte, he has a 3rd command center about to finish up and still has a natural that is mining very healthily.
Yeah, that Liberator going in first really just made it, I think, easy for Forte to compartmentalize which he needed to defend first. Now he sits here on 39 workers to 24, 41 to 24. It looks fantastic for it. Bit of funny micro going on here, I guess. Whatever. Point of this being, VirTues could try and recover from this, but I don't know. The thing that kind of sucks in this situation is he doesn't have the production to like gear up towards another all-in, but he also doesn't have the potential to out-macro 3 CCs.
Yeah, he's actually just losing on all fronts. A drop might be able to do something, but Forte, on Dusk Tower doesn't really have any pressure on him to move out and be caught off guard by a drop. I mean, you have a tank in the main, maybe Marines in the natural, and your 3rd will be covered by anything else that comes out of your production, and there's not much that VirTues can do. We do see a tank drop, actually, going to the middle of the map, which is a little odd. It just been on like the timing basically, as there could already be enough Marines, there could be a Viking, of course, which actually is on the way, and this just won't do very much.
No, Tank could get some decent shots and kite down a couple of Marines, but yeah, this was so limited in its potential in the first place. Even just a Viking coming out now on top of the ones he already has, make sure that this won't actually get to that mineral line, or if it does, it'll die for it. 1-1 starts up as well, and as Forte continues to just get tech advantages, there really is... I like that he's not going out right now with everything trying to like all in to win. It's a little bit presumptuous to think he'd be able to anyways, based off the way the game opened, but I think he knows he's ahead. I mean, again, 3 CCs is a pretty freaking big deal.
The tank's gonna walk home.
Nope.
Not happening. Alright, so the 2 tanks covered by Vikings at this point makes a lot more sense. It's actually pretty safe. But even then, if it was like a normal macro game, like with nothing actually happened, this would be a little risky. But this is certainly something that Forte can do. You'll certainly be able to get a lot of free pot shots with the Viking control. Taking on the supply depot is okay, but of course getting any amount of Marines is a lot better. I guess the only thing that's really not going so well is that Forte did wait a long time to start his stim, so that's actually going to be pretty even with VirTues, despite having like a tech lab a lot sooner. But it's plus, he's going to 1-1. He's going to have so many more Marines. I mean, the supply right now is pretty bad. It is all in SCVs, but those SCVs will shortly become army.
Nice Viking control here. It gets a little bit close to those Marines. Bit scary to see, but man, this is so just barely harassed, barely dedicated to doing anything, and yet he's still doing a lot of damage with just 2 tanks. Had he actually brought everything with him, had he every single Marine and every single tank with him on the side of the map, I think this game is definitely over. But the fact that this is kind of the scouting force doing all the damage kind of lets you know that this is not going to go well for VirTues. Not as the game doesn't continue.
Well, this might just be the killing blow. Everything's timing up nicely with it. Combat shields probably, if it goes like directly over, I guess won't be done. But the overwhelming amount of units should be able to win.
Sorry, I glanced over your camera. You guys can't see this right now. And Zomgrub's cat is like, it's like making out with the camera, basically.
So he's just looking at it. He, I don't know what it is. I guess he's bored, but not energetic enough to bother me. He just sits on my table.
No, I gotta screenshot this. His eye is so crazy. I'll show the stream afterwards. But okay, so a lot of Vikings escorting 2 drops across the map, but at the end of the day, VirTues, there's no way he base trades this. You float your command centers all over the map and try and be silly, but I mean, there's just so many more units here for Forte. More importantly, so many more tanks.
I mean, this game has already gone on like 3 minutes past the point of like, okay, you're dead. But if there was a drop, and there is a drop right now, then that was his way to maybe come back. But he loses all of his Vikings, a couple Marines, or almost loses all of them. There we go. Yeah. Loses all of his Vikings.
He's gonna pull the SCVs, no nonsense over here. Picks up that tank, not looking good for VirTues. Everything in this drop does get cleaned up. Good game gets called, and Forte will take game number 1. Okay, I took a screenshot of this. I gotta show the stream. Pasted in paint.
Wow.
Zombie cat, I'm so jelly, is so much cuter than my cat. Look at this guy.
No, he's
He's just like
I gave him pettings, and I guess he took that as a sign he's allowed to sit on my lap.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. That'll do it.
Oh, and his arm is a pillow.
You would make such a good bad guy
Villain?
or girl villain, yeah.
Yeah, that's the word.
Hello. So like petting the cat in that
Why?
creepy manner.
Why is there a word for hero for woman, but not a word for villain that's a woman?
Wouldn't it just be villainous?
People don't use it as much, do they?
I don't know.
Maybe they do. Maybe they do.
That's what I think the default would be.
I always hated having to say heroin. Like, I thought it was really dumb.
Because drugs aren't cool? I agree.
Yeah, drugs are bad. You just need to be hero. I have to be... anyway. Ready?
Yep. Go, go, go. Good luck. Have fun, says Forte. As soon as VirTues gives us the go-ahead, we'll hop into Arena. Now, of course, I said ready because I forgot that I have to do this. Oh, can I do it in time, though? The pressure is on. I think I got it. All right, folks, game number 2 in this first best of 3 of the day. Let's not forget that the winner of this will go on to fight against Scarlet next, which I think a lot of us are pretty excited about. It is worth noting that Alive's opponent was a no-show, so he got a walkover in the brackets while this first series went on. We already have 2 other people advancing, both Sleep and Little Wolf. So we'll see how this starts looking. Again, we're going to try and cast probably 2 round of 8 matches to make up for the smaller bracket, as well as 2 of the semifinals. So ideally... 5-ish best of 3s after this, depending on how things go, but at any rate. Spawning here in the bottom left side of Arena, we've got the red Terran player, Forte.
In the top left as the pink Terran, it is VirTues.
So, quick comment here. About a month and a half-ish ago, whenever that session was that we were getting, or I in particular, was getting like a lot of extra Reddit hate, one of the comments I saw, which I thought was really interesting, was someone noticed my alt-tabbing. And, of course, you guys can tell usually because the cursor will change on the screen if I've tabbed in or out of the game. And I do this mostly not because like I'm in the middle of the game and I start browsing Reddit, but usually I have to check frame rates or I have to look at chat or we have to do... Like, I'm actually... A lot of people have this misconception that we mod chat. Zombie and I regularly have time to tab out and, you know, ban somebody or something like that. But... anyways, despite these normal actions where like I'm moving XSplit over or checking this, that, and the other, I'm just like so much more self-conscious of this lately. And it's something where I figured like, oh, I'll get over it in a month, whatever. But like, I can't do it, man. I just can't do it. And everyone else, please notice my alt-tabbing as I bring this up. But it's just a strange thing that I never really thought about getting criticized for.
That sounds like... I guess it's not too surprising that one person would notice... And that one person would be someone that didn't like you to begin with. But I feel like this is like, it's even less noticeable than when we clap, right? And only those guys on like the other site even noticed and said they had like a problem with it. And everyone else is like, oh, I didn't really notice.
Yeah, I mean, it's not something I'm taking super seriously, but I just wish I didn't have to check XSplit frame rates all the time. Just make sure everything's like flowing smoothly. Because if we tab into the game and my XSplit's below your camera, then I can't see the top bit that shows where the thing is. So I have to usually put it back up over your camera, which, whatever. It's just the order in which I tab things around. Anyways, nothing really important there. Just banter as we get into what is an interesting opening, as Forte has got quite the aggressive force that can kill what VirTues has, and frankly, might just win the game here.
Yeah, so I was looking at this armory from VirTues, which is proxied in the bottom right. I'm guessing for Thor. Oh no, Siege Tank now. Well, then
it
nothing.
may have been the intention of a Thor. I'm actually not even joking. That would make a lot of sense with the way he built, but
yeah,
unfortunately, not having a full wall off has completely screwed him. Like if this reactor was part of the wall, this wouldn't have happened. So I think Forte saw this last game because it happened as well. I was gonna bring it up, but it didn't end up being a factor. But
interesting.
Ouch, that's a harsh way to lose game 2. But like we said, TvT's got really 2 ways it goes, and it's either really long or really short. Not often a lot of in between. So congratulations to Forte. He'll take a 2-0. Go on to fight against Scarlet next. Of course, that's the one we want to cast.
Mm-hmm.
I am gonna have to play, I guess, a Ting ad here though, since we've gotten through this so quickly. So, you pick. Do we want to go over Ting rates, devices, or coverage?
Rates.
Okay. Before we do this too, I just want to give like a true life story here. I recently was in the States for Austin for the last like 11 or 12 days, and Ting gave me one of their SIM cards to use. So I have some actual feedback I can give you guys for it, and that is, it was pretty fantastic. There's a couple of times where I lost service, but it wasn't enough to be hugely influential. Like just one or two restaurants we go in, and I couldn't get like a signal in. But outside of that, like it worked fine. I could call. I called long distance to call my mom on Mother's Day. Texting wasn't an issue. It had a different phone number, so I had some Mexican lady calling me a lot, or Spanish. I don't know which, but she was yelling in that sort of like Hispanic tone, and I'm like, okay, I don't know who this is, and they clearly have the wrong number. But aside from those two things, it was actually an absolutely fantastic time using their service. Way better than my roaming, at least with Telus, because not only was it cheaper, but it was way better because roaming services are garbage. So yeah, Ting's pretty awesome, and I'm really glad I can actually say that now that I've used it. But at any rate, here's a little video on their rates and stuff while we get Forte and Scarlet set up, guys. They gotta do vetoes and whatnot. So see you in a few minutes.